the CWs Elseworlds events.
Yeah, and it just got over last week.
Yep.
And what we're looking at was, I think in the premise, it was nothing more than a setup for next year. Elseworld has a bigger part 2 yet to come. CW wanted to showcase a new character, Batwoman, a rough and tough version of the Batwoman, who is not going to take any issue with anyone. She carries a gun. She will kill.
Yep.
And she's not a fan of other suits. Superheroes, no matter who they are, bring evil intent, not on their behalf, but because they wear their costumes and they do such damage to the villains, they have to have super criminals. And that has caused a major downfall of what is going on in Gotham.
Yeah. One of the big events, big side for me is seeing Amazon.
Yes. That was quite well done. I did like when his chest absorbed either the Superman emblem and his powers, the Supergirl, the Flash, everybody's own character was taken in.
Yep. And,
through the chest plate, it wasn't something on the face, it wasn't, something, it was well done.
Good. I wonder if we're going to see more of him in the future.
Well, it depends. Now, the big thought on everybody's head is that next year is going to be Crisis.
Yep.
We have been, as far as comic book lovers, dealing with the Crisis for the last, 5 years.
Yep.
It just seems like it keeps coming and coming.
Yep. The only thought I got on the Crisis is they're going to follow the comic book, in which case Supergirl dies.
Yeah, but if they're going to do any of that, they can leave themselves some leeway from when the comic book was, and instead of Carol Danvers dying, they could shift her to the Justice Society in the future with Brainiac.
Yeah.
And then that would leave Earth 2, Supergirl from any of the other planets, or even a clone being killed.
Yep. Then the other question, if it's going to be Crisis, is Barry Allen going to be disappearing too?
Right. And, will he run himself off? And will that happen? The problem that I have with that, we've got Barry Allen supposed to be leaving in 2020. It's going to be 2019. Oh, no, 2024.
Yeah.
He was supposed to disappear. But he would be leaving at that point 5 years early.
Right.
Okay? So that's a problem. And listen to me, anybody from DC, and this is for you and you only. If you're going to do this with the CW, make each show a 2-hour event. Make it an event. Give it 6 hours, give it 8 hours if you've got Batwoman up and running by then. Don't cut corners and cut this down to 3 hours. It's not long enough. You got a bigger story, and everybody that does comic books, be it one brand or the other, is going to tell you if you make it longer, people will appreciate it when you do the fine tuning of it and your little Easter eggs you love to put in. But this was supposed to happen after Batman left Gotham. He's been gone for several years. Batwoman is very established. We hear nothing about Nightwing. We hear nothing about the Titans. We hear nothing about any of the other DC people. But we see certain characters. At the end, the gentleman who was creating the Havoc morphed into his follow-up character.
Yep. And since they've introduced Batwoman.
Yep.
Does that mean they're going to do plans for a Batwoman TV series?
Well, word is 2019, but that's yet to be seen on CW. But we heard about this crossover for, I'd say, 3 months, and little releases here and there, and what was going to happen. I was disappointed that none of the characters from the Legends showed up. I do like the fact that Legends made, it's been a year, it's time, another crossover, let's just not do it this time. And they didn't, okay?
Well, that maybe have something to do with the reason that Legends is supposed to be finishing up.
Yeah, and we are going to lose them and possibly pick up Batwoman in their stead.
Yep.
So at the end of this season, Batwoman will probably come on, and she'll run. Now, I like the way that CW does it, but they don't do anything in between. See, when these titles, The Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, they all go off for the end of the season, we need something to take their place. And they could do the Justice Society. They could do the old society and bring it to the new.
Yep.
They could do any of the other characters from DC and bring some life to it to where they're continuing that role.
Yep. And speaking of Justice Society, if I remember right, Justice Society was in the last season or two of the Smallville.
Right. And
only for an episode or two.
Right. And another part of that, part of the Justice Society was with the Legends. One of the characters, they were trying to find out who killed their members to obtain the totems. This was all tied in with Malcolm and the Reverse Flash and Damien Dark. When the Legends first started off and they wanted to go after some heavy hitters and they wanted to save time and they wanted to do all this, there was some good parts in it. There really was. I didn't care for them killing Commander Cold or Captain Cold.
Yep.
And then later on in the shows, they bring Captain Cold back in from Earth 2. And he's helping rebuild with Ray, his boyfriend, what is going on over on their world. The multi-universes were never really explained completely. I believe that DC owed us a movie on the multiverse.
Yep.
And they did a great comic on that. It explained a lot. It could be done. They could have some fun. They could do some stop-go animation along with that. It really translates well. Since they're going up the road of the crisis, that would have explained where the Monitor came from and what the story was on the backside of that.
Yep.
And instead of going, here's the multiverse, and this outside of there in a sphere is where the Monitor goes, and then there's the anti-Monitor on the further side. You don't tear down everything and just make it a circle.
Right.
Where can they go with this? They're going to go down the road of crisis. They owe us a movie on the multiverse of DC. That would be fun. Because not only would you have the Flash, but you'd have the Flash from 52 different worlds. And that would go over well.
Yep. One world I'd like to see is one where the crime syndicate comes from.
Exactly. And one of my favorites would be Commander Carrot, or Captain Carrot. Yeah. Look, as far as DC, no matter how you do it, you owe us a few movies. They kind of go in with this. Maybe CW will pay for half so they can continue their line. But look, if you did this, you could do a Superman show, reboot that as a weekly series.
Yep.
And that could be directly with the CW. You would have Supergirl on the off season of that, and that would work out really well because they could be on each other's show as cameo appearances. You would have the Arrowverse. You would have the Terrific Squad and all the people from that. Justice Society. You would have the Flash. And maybe it's time for Shazam to come back to TV.
Yeah.
And we know you're coming up with the movie, but right after the movie's done, it would be great if you carried it on with him as a television show.
And it's probably a bad idea, but one TV show I wouldn't mind seeing, doing a Joker as an anti-hero.
Yes, and that would be perfect. Because instead of labeling him the villain, making him an anti-villain, because he was pushed by Batman to kill. So the question is, who made who?
Yeah. Because like I said, he had a comic book at one time, just the Joker, way back in the, I think it was the 70s.
Yeah.
And that's now fairly expensive comic right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to look at that, look at DC Universe. They are doing the Titans now on their show.
Right.
And they have another one out there. But DC has a very large collection, a deep well that they can draw on. And before they sell out to some company that has, I don't know, mice ears or whatever, and them obtaining both houses, being Marvel and DC.
Disney.
Yeah. Before we make it all family friendly, let's let them duke it out a little. Let's have some real shows.
That's what I said. Having an anti-hero, a villain, who's the main character, taking on other heroes.
Yeah.
Not just Batman. Like I said, have the Joker take on Batman, the Justice League, Justice Society, whatever. Even taking on the Flash.
Yep. And do his crazy contraptions. I want to see the boxing glove gun.
Yeah.
I want to see the scissors that reach across and smack you. You know, there are a million different things that the Joker had that they could bring to life and have some fun with. He outdid the Trickster.
Yeah.
And the Trickster has actually gotten more TV time on television shows than the Joker has. Even the latest introduction of the Joker with the Suicide Squad. Okay? What about the Suicide Squad?
Yep.
Make them a weekly show.
Like the Joker, what he probably does is he cover some sort of super glue all over the floor, and as the Flash starts running through it, he's stuck.
Right. You know, and you can't go anywhere when that's happening. And then he lights a couple of giant, bombs and throws them in there with him on the glue.
Or worse yet, he'd be working with other villains to take down like the Flash or whatever, but have bombs on the villains.
Sure. Look, you had the old Batman show, and the old Batman show actually had a wide variety of Gotham's greatest villains.
Yeah.
But if you start dealing with all the villains, instead of doing a whole season on Savitar, that was too long, folks. Sorry, but you didn't need that many, shows to have it figured out that it was Barry Allen inside the costume. Some people that don't even watch the show looked over at it, and I'm talking about this from firsthand, and said, it's Barry Allen.
Yep.
And I sat there and I watched all the shows, and I said, yep. And then my world was crushed. It was Barry Allen. So, here's how it goes. Give us more Gorilla Grog. Give us some more TV time for some of these heroes, but don't wait until the crossover to bring them all together. Do some combinations, some team-ups, some something, or a what if. Yeah. But bring us something fresh.
I can see the Joker right now trying to rob other villains. That's something Joker like.
Right. And that would actually make more sense. There are a lot of people that hated the Joker because he would double-cross them and leave them holding the bag as he got away.
Yeah.
So, listen, folks. It's been nice talking to you. Elseworlds, or World, it was worth watching. It does give you some information, but you have to pick it apart. And if If you're an avid comic reader, you see Crisis on the horizon. It's less than a year away. But in the meantime, let's get a campaign or something going to get explanations on the multiverse and why they think there's only 52 worlds.
Yeah.
How about that? Instead of billions. They've limited to 52. Did they have some help from the Monitor? Did he destroy everything else out? Nothing was said. So let's explain it and let's have that conversation.
Yeah. And that's all for today. Please like and subscribe. Have yourself a great day. And 2 thumbs up for Elseworld. And we'll see you next time.